or that we're not spending their money on what really matters. And I consistently hear that what really matters are the people that are delivering education, and they want to see that teachers, that aides are getting, paid fairly, that, people like paraprofessionals are getting benefits. There's very little pushback on that, so, I feel optimistic that if this is something we wanna do incrementally, that we have a pretty broad support.
Tammy.
I'm not sure legally if this is, I'll be quick. If this is something, well, even if we didn't have to go out for a referendum, I would think that this would be something that we would want to take the pulse of the community at a general election or during a time to see if the Shorewood electorate, then we would know, if people would support it. And this could be a referendum question, but, in absence of that, we can speculate all the livelong day how we think people, would perceive this. I can tell you, I had a number of doors. I've again been elected 3 consecutive terms here. Even though this is something that I think is very important and I value considerably, I have not once ever heard this come up, and not just at doors, in the community, in the numerous emails, in the numerous interactions that I had at the grocery store, which was kind of surprising to me because there are a lot of people who live in Shorewood who are directors and exec directors and work in a variety of nonprofits and social movement and advocacy groups within Shorewood and beyond. And then the other thing I have to say is that I'm not sure how many, and I do like having an attractive wage to allow people to live in the community in which they work. And that's why, again, if we were to see this, and I don't think we can do this because of the state, but I could be wrong, I would want to see this expanded to not just the public sector, but to the private sector, because we don't have, that many private sector employers. We have Northwoods and a couple of, Metro Market and a couple other biggies, but still, anyway.
Jessica?
My only thought is I like to think of our budget as really a living document that really sort of exemplifies our morals and what we really value. And if this is something that we really value, that after going through one budget cycle and really looking at what do we have to pick and choose, and if this is what we as a community, as our elected officials feel our community is valuing, then we may have to pick and choose other things, because I do think taxes are an issue, and I think that is one of the affordability issues in our community. And I think if this increase in wage is something that is really important, we're gonna have to make that decision of what do we cut and what do we do to make that priority, so we can really live our budget, because it is really representative of what we value as a community.
So what I'm hearing just is, for the concept in general, I'm hearing a lot of support around the table, but I think that we need to kind of nail down a lot of different variables within it. And I'm also hearing that school board and village board can act somewhat independently in this space. But I do think that we certainly it's an idea that has support around the table, at least in concept. And we'd also need public input to determine how to move this forward and how expansive to make it.
Perfect summary.
And we're doing our prioritization for 2020, so it may not get chosen, but it doesn't mean that it won't be. It may get chosen,
There might be a grassroots
and if
level.
it doesn't, then we have lots of time to make some.
Maybe if we have President Elizabeth Warren, we will have to decide.
There you go.
Make it happen for everyone.
So yeah, on that note, do we have anything else on agenda item number 7?
It'll be great.
Seeing
Choose to be optimistic.
seeing no more on agenda item number 7.
I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning this meeting?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Feel better.
Yeah.
Feel better, Allison. Thank you, Allison.
Oh my god.
We're sitting there, I'm like, man, this guy's gotta wanna thrive on soon. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Do you mind if I ask you to really quickly? I just need to turn this off.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine.
It's one of the less glamorous parts of it.
No.